At what point does a parent with those additional responsibilities as a parent with a child that has any form of disability really decide that they have to set up an organisation? Is it because you can do it better than what you've seen around, or is it because you just think you want other parents not to go through what you've gone through and get that support?
I think from the lessons I've picked from my experience, it has been a difficult journey. It has not been easy, but I woke up one morning and I made a decision that if I can do it, I can set up something to help families who don't have access to healthcare. I have seen a gap in our society because we do not have social welfare services in this country. And when you talk about having an insurance, not a lot of families are even familiar with insurance. So you have families who are struggling to take care of these children, who are struggling to feed these children, who do not even know that there's help out there. And so I came from a place of pain to purpose. I myself personally had to take my son abroad to seek further medical intervention for him because we're lacking in some sorts of resources here for these children. And so, but the little that we have actually suffices for families who are underprivileged. And so it's not a calling for everybody, but I think it was a calling for me. And I said, okay, why not? Let's do this. Let's support these families.
Well, thankfully for all these families, it was a calling for you.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, again, I wanted to speak to you today was one of my colleagues here at S24, who is helping with a new documentary unit that we want to set up, the doc unit. Miss Khadija, it's been made this amazing documentary about this community made up of people where everybody there has a disability. They've almost like come together as a way of like a support network, but it's in unsecured land, and you know they're kind of a fragile community when it comes. But they're Nigerian citizens, and I'm sure at some point in the next 10 months, someone will come knocking on the door and saying to them, "Vote for us because we'll do this for you." So I mean, I know it's quite a complex situation, but how do you then detach yourself as a parent concerned about those things with someone that's running an organisation that sees sometimes it's a societal issue and a systemic issue and a governance issue, which is actually causing these problems before you even get to the disability?
I think first things first, if we have the policy makers remove interest from policies and make sure policies are being implemented. Sadly, we have policies, but mostly they're on paper and we don't see the implementation. I have had to single-handedly raise funds for a public hospital that is supposed to be managed by the government to buy critical equipment for these hospitals. I have had hospitals reach out to me to seek financial support to get medical intervention drugs because they don't have access to these. And you have children who are already vulnerable, who have disabilities that rely on these medications. So first things first, I think it's a mindset issue that we have. I think it's a lot of things are interest to some people, to some politicians. It's all about interest. What do I get? What do I gain? It's no longer about the poor masses seeking these things. These are not luxuries. These are not privileges. These are rights. Every human being, regardless of status, regardless of background, regardless of ability or disability, deserves access to healthcare, education, food security, empowerment, and jobs.